Hey everyone, it's Samantha and I'm back again with another recipe roundup. I'm going to try to do these about monthly, but since my baby girl is set to arrive this month, I might be skipping a month or two or who knows how many. Anyway, this is just a compilation of some recipes that we tried in January, so let's go ahead and dive right in. This first recipe is a 15-minute beef and broccoli. I just threw in some red and green peppers and it was absolutely delicious. My husband thought there was too much sauce on this, but I thought it was absolutely perfect. So if you are really into sauce, it's probably as good, and if not, I would tone down the sauce just a little bit, because my husband doesn't like a whole lot of sauce on things. I just wanted to let you guys know that. This next recipe is actually shrimp tacos. I have done a video recipe on the tortillas and also the tacos. I just put the broccoli slaw on these, some grape tomatoes cut in half, and guacamole, and they were absolutely delicious. So I will link to all recipes I'm sharing with you guys if I have recipes for them. This next one is just such a cheater meal. I used a rice-a-roni box of Spanish rice, and all I did to it was add in some shredded chicken and add in some peppers and onions and let the whole pot just simmer together, and it was just amazing. It was just a one-pot wonder dish, super duper easy one night when I didn't really feel like cooking that much. This next recipe is actually a vegetable ramen. If you followed me on my grocery hauls or my Instagram, you'll know I have been addicted to ramen noodles. Generally, I just put them with chicken broth and parsley and eat them like that. I never use the seasoning packet. I keep them usually really simple. Sometimes I'll add mushrooms or kale, but this night I went all out making the ramen, and my husband and I both had this. Mine's on top, his is on the bottom, and what I did was I stir-fried some vegetables just in some olive oil with a little bit of pepper and a tiny bit of soy sauce. If you hear some banging around in the background, my husband's out in the garage dinking around in his man cave area. He's working on some stuff. So while I was sauteing vegetables, I started some broth. This is actually veggie broth, but you could use chicken broth or beef broth, whatever you want. And I made a couple of packs of ramen noodles without the seasoning, just the broth, and just cooked them until they were done. Then I put everything in the bowls and then added some green onions on the top as the garnish and a fried egg. And since I'm pregnant, I didn't get the fried egg with the runny yolk. I had to cook my yolk all the way through. But my husband did get that nice runny yolk on his, and it was absolutely delicious. We ate some leftovers the day after, and it was amazing. So we will be making this one again. And you could really doctor this up. You could add meats or whatever you want, whatever vegetables you want. It actually came together really fast, and it's definitely going to be one of our new favorites. Now this next recipe is one of my lunch things that I made. It is copycat Taco Bell Pintos and cheese. All I did was squish up some pinto beans, add in some mild sauce that I got. It's just a bottle of actual Taco Bell's mild sauce, and then added in some Colby Jack cheese. Doesn't look good, but it is absolutely delicious. It's just like Taco Bell's version, but I made it myself. And this next one is actually one of my favorite snacks recently. It's just guacamole, and it's super easy to make the way I make it. You can really jazz it up any way you want, but all I do is I mash up an avocado with about 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise, add some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and lemon juice, and that's it. So you could really doctor it up, add tomatoes, pico de gallo, all sorts of things. But I just like it super duper simple, and I like my guacamole to be really creamy too, so the mayonnaise really helps with that. So I've actually shared this next recipe in one of my Freezer Meal Friday videos, but I have been making enchiladas so many times. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times now I've made enchiladas, plus I've got all the ones in the freezer stocked up. I have just been loving this recipe. Definitely check the link down below if you want to see how to make this. They've got a green chili cream sauce, and they're just absolutely delicious. Now let's talk dessert. I ended up making donuts this month. I got the idea from another YouTuber. I will link to her channel below, and she linked to a recipe. I followed the recipe step by step. This is a yeast dough recipe, so it does take a little bit of time, and you do have to go through 2 separate rises. So the first rise is actually just like rising any other dough. You just leave it in the bowl and let it rise until it doubles in size, and then the second rising, you actually roll out your donuts, set them where you're going to let them rise, and just leave them to rise. So here's what they looked like after I cut them out and I made little donut holes with the extra that I had left over at the end. And then here is what they looked like when they rose up a little bit more. They got nice and puffy, and then I just fried these in some vegetable oil and they were amazing. So the first picture here shows the cinnamon sugar covered donuts, and then the second photo shows chocolate iced donuts, and we just made a little chocolate ganache with some milk and chocolate chips and dipped each of the donuts in that, and they were absolutely amazing. I definitely recommend this if you want some donuts. It's really easy to make. It just takes a little bit of time. I started the dough before dinner, and then we had these shortly after dinner, so it was really nice. And last but certainly not least, here is another dessert I've been having a lot lately. It's just a bunch of cut up strawberries with a scoop of vanilla bean ice cream. Super simple, super delicious, and I have this a lot of times throughout the week. I just love the way the strawberries start to freeze just a little bit because of the ice cream, and it's just super delicious. And that is it for this video. I'll have recipes listed down below for any recipes that I used, and I will catch you guys next time. Be sure to subscribe so you can follow me along. Thanks for watching!